Hello, this is Julian with Coffee Reviews, and today I will be reviewing Olympia Coffee Roasters out of Olympia, Washington. Currently outside of their location in West Seattle, just off of California Avenue Southwest, and I'm going to be trying their Chelchele Natural Lot 225. I don't have my notepad, so I hope I got that right, but yeah, either way, it's a Natural Ethiopia, and it's newer. Let me go ahead and give it a shot. Alrighty. So, this is my first video back in Seattle, which is my home, and I'm super happy to be back. The video series that's going to be coming from Seattle, any places that are a review, are going to pretty much be a recommend, highly recommend, because I know the city, the coffee city, insanely well. I might do a coffee tour of Seattle, kind of highlight the best spots here. Definitely know all the best spots and have been here numerous times. But let's go ahead and talk about this location specifically. So this location is in West Seattle. It's been here for quite a while actually, and I've been going since I moved here. I think Olympia for me is the best Washington State coffee roaster up there with Camber. Just happen to be wearing a Camber shirt today. But Camber doesn't have a location in Seattle. It's easy to find their beans here. But Olympia, they now have two locations. They opened up one in Columbia City, a brand new one within the past couple of months. They have one down in Tacoma. Of course, they have a couple in Olympia. And they seem to be expanding in Washington State, which is great. They're a terrific coffee roaster. They deserve all the praise, notoriety, recognition. This location specifically, though, is probably my least favorite location, mostly because it's really, really small on the inside. I think they usually have two pour-over options and one drip option. They just had this one drip option, but it worked out for me. I've been wanting to try this coffee. It's been advertised on their email, and ever since then I've been wanting to come here and try it as soon as I could. But yeah, I'm gonna just say real quick, for this shop right here, it's a recommend, and I think before the location in Columbia City was built, it would have been a highly recommend. They seem to get kind of I think they're better than any Seattle-based coffee roaster, like Elm, Kuma. For me, Olympia is just the top of the food chain. So the fact that they've kind of expanded and made their way into Seattle is, well, I think it's a good thing. It might cause others to raise their game, but just having a couple of Olympia locations now here is terrific for somebody that loves their coffee as much as I do. But that being said, the location in Columbia City is a beautiful location, much bigger. Seems like they'll have more options when things fully open. I expect to be going to that location a lot more, maybe doing a lot more coffee reviews, going there quite frequently. Yeah, but there's some great stuff in West Seattle, and that's why every time I do come to West Seattle, it's worth stopping by here for me anyway. So the coffee shop, this one right here, is definitely in the recommend category. The one in Columbia City, which we'll do in the future, is a highly recommend, a highly, highly recommend. But let's talk about this coffee. So, as I've been sipping on it, I've been getting some kind of classic Olympia from it. Now, Olympia, it doesn't have the sort of insane, overly abundant fruitiness that a lot of my favorite coffee roasters, Sweet Bloom and Onyx most notably, have. It's a little bit more, I guess, kind of calm. And I've had plenty of their bags of coffee where I see that it has a little bit of a peak, a little bit of a spike. It gets a little sweet, but it never gets too overly sweet. And I think that's a selling point for people that aren't into the, you know, something that still kind of maintains a little bit of traditionality in this. It definitely has that cherry, and the cherry was most prominent at the start of this coffee, but since then it's kind of tapered off to a more subtle strawberry and some very dense chocolates to it as well. I do get a tiny bit of acidity now as it's cooled down and finished, and that's not to say that this in any sense is, I think maybe it kind of creates a more normalized, natural processed Ethiopia, which is good. And I think with a lot of their coffees, they have really truly knocked it out with me, where I've bought the bag, tried the bag, and the experimentation from like day 5 to day 16, you see a lot of change in it, and you get some real peaks. I don't know what day this is on, but this one for me, it doesn't not have that peak. I think it's a fine overall balance, but when I'm looking for these natural Ethiopias, I am looking for something that is going to completely blow me away. And I'd be curious to venture with this coffee a little more and see if maybe a different day gets me there. But for this one right here, it's not quite there. And for as much praise and love as I do have for Olympia, this coffee for me, it's on the verge of that recommend pass category, which is kind of surprising, but I'm going to leave it in that recommend category. Mostly because I get enough from this coffee that I see all the potential and greatness that it has there. And while this may not have been my favorite natural Ethiopia that they've ever produced, I have no doubt that maybe coming back and the way it was at the start, when it was a little hotter, is a very, very well done and very nice cup of coffee. So that right there has been my review specifically of this Olympia coffee. Thank you for watching.